like I'm on a sound quest, like a journey through sound, you know, traveling through the world and recording and absorbing different sounds and having them influence the music that I make. I think one of the reasons I make tracks is just so that I can make film clips, because when you get absorbed in the fashion side of it and the aesthetic side of it and all of the amazing things that you can do visually, you know, we think of visual arts and we think of painting on a canvas and just how much you can do with that, but when you also have these videography sort of spheres where you can get your smoke and your triangles and your geometric patterns and your flair and your dance moves, and you can bring them all together to create these things that are exciting and are invigorating. It just creates goodness. It's this motion, it's this intangible thing that is just so appealing for some reason. You know, like I don't know why these like sounds and pretty shapes and colours are just so but there's just something. And I mean, it's why people do it, you know, it's why I do it, it's why other musicians get so enamoured in this sound quest. As much as I love the atmospheric, the ambient, the empathetic sounds, I just as much love the dark, the industrial Berlin techno. Like, there's just something about this music, and it's definitely created for a space. Like, music and DJing especially is all about catering to the space that you're in. And over in Berlin, they have a lot of spaces that are these like dark, industrial, grungy spaces where, you know, people dance in a certain way and people move in a certain way, and, you know, the body language and everything just comes together for this very particular style, this very particular vibe, and you kind of clock into this vibe, and, you know, you'll go out to these clubs and you'll go for these marathons, you know, you'll go out clubbing for 12 hours at a time, and it's in these like dark rooms with this music that is almost abrasive, and, you know, these crystalline sounds, these crispy sounds that are just crashing into your mind when you're in this sea of people that are all having the same experience as you. It's so based on your environment. So, you know, when you have different sort of environments, you know, like down in Melbourne they do their own thing, and in Brisbane we have our own funky vibes. But in Berlin they have this thing. And so when you not just cater to the space that you're in, but create the space that you want. So it's not just about the sound, it's not just about the visual aspect of it, but about the environment, how people feel when they're in that environment. It's like when I was a kid, I played a lot of The Sims, and you'd have all of these different levels for, you know, whether they're fed, whether they're slept, all of these different things, and you had one for a room. And it was basically like if their surroundings were pretty and if they liked being in their surroundings. And it's kind of like that. You know, when you have these environments that are conducive to amazing things happening, when you enable a person to have a certain experience, it's when you're creating these environments and when you're enabling a person to exist within this environment, you're kind of like this grandmaster just controlling someone's experience. It's like, I know that you're confused, I know that you don't know what's happening, but I'm going to surprise you with something that you're going to really enjoy. So you're just making this person's experience. It feels like God sometimes. They're tinkering away with your sounds and your shapes and your dance moves and inserting feeling